right, I'm going to let Rick introduce his folks. We're proud to have Rick here today. He's can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. It's good. So you guys can get it up there. Thanks for Rick Crawford.
Nobody here wants to hear anything about the farm bill, so we'll just go through that. No, I wanted to kind of come out and visit with folks, let you know what's going on with the farm bill. Policy-wise, not a whole lot changed from last year. I'll kind of get into a little bit of the policy issue. Our biggest deal was direct payment stripped out. You all knew that, but probably you also know that probably since 2007 or longer, I've been telling farmers this was going to happen. So we kind of, I think you guys were prepared for that at some point. On some level, we knew that that was probably going to happen. What we didn't want to happen is rip the rug out from under you and not leave you something to provide some level of safety. So what we did was, the House version includes this called price loss coverage. That sounds like an insurance product. It's not. It's an FSA administered program. Price loss coverage is kind of a hybrid or a modernized version of the old target price. It's called a trigger price, and the trigger price is determined, it's a level of support determined by cost of production. And that cost of production, rather than just relying on USDA numbers, the Economic Research Service gives their estimate, and I'm going to give you some hypotheticals here in a minute on rice. And then also Texas A&M. So we take the average of those two. Now, I'd rather have University of Arkansas, particularly as applies to rice, but Texas A&M is a good source, and you'll see why in just a minute. But rather than relying on USDA to set that level, take the average of the two. So I'll use rice as an example. They determine at this point production costs for rice per hundredweight. USDA says it's $14. Well, Texas A&M came in a little on the higher side, $14.50. The average of the two. So the base then is $14.25. So that's sort of the base figure, and then they'll cover 85% of that. So I think we did the math on this here a day or two ago. I think that works out to per bushel around 6 1/4 that they would pay you if the price drops below that level. So you get 85% coverage there based on that trigger. So it's not designed to be a moneymaker, but it is designed to provide a level of support there to hopefully keep you in business and weather the storm so you can get to next year and hopefully market conditions improve. It's certainly not I would have preferred to have kept a direct payment, but when it's all said and done, I mean, there were about 3 of us still standing on direct payment. That was me, Chairman Lucas, and Ranking Member Peterson. Beyond that, we were just outnumbered. And so, knowing that we couldn't win that, we came up with a policy that even the rice industry said this is workable, we can live with it. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's better than an absolute, strip it out and don't give us anything to create some level of security. So that's kind of where we're standing right now in light of losing the direct payment. Now you can opt into this beginning of the program, and as you know, Farm Bill is a 5-year bill. You can opt in. Once you opt in, you're in for the 5 years. So you can't year to year change your mind. So in our neck of the woods, irrigation is our crop insurance. You're probably going to opt your acres, and particularly all your irrigated acres, you would opt into the PLC. If you don't, you had some dryland soybeans somewhere, you can opt those acres in to crop insurance. So there's a level of protection there for either scenario. The policy is consistent from the House version last year and the House version of the commodity title that was just passed. So that's at least some protection there. Now I'm going to talk about the Farm Bill and how it played out on the floor going back to June. We brought the House bill to the floor, and I'll just tell you, I thought the House Ag Committee did a stellar job. 46-member committee passed the Farm Bill 36 to 10. There were 7 Democrats voted no, 3 Republicans voted no. That's pretty good in this environment. So we all kind of went to the floor with this House bill thinking, yeah, we had a pretty good, what we thought a pretty good coalition. Keep in mind, you got to have 218 votes to pass this thing. And as the amendment process wore on, where we lost a few on the commodity title with AGI provisions and so on. So in spite of that, we felt pretty good right up to the last amendment was when the thing came unraveled, and that was the Sutherland Amendment. That addressed the nutrition title and food stamps and a provision that would allow states to implement a pilot program with respect to drug testing and work requirements. And we lost about 45 of our 65 votes on the Democrat side that we thought we had. And then we lost, I think, 67 on the Republican side because they didn't think it cut enough. So this group of us in the middle that had really worked hard to come up with this 218, we fell short. It's a very frustrating process. So leadership decided, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to split this. We bring the commodity title as it was amended to the floor as a separate bill. They made one change to it. That change being the permanent repeal, or the repeal of the permanent law, and replace it with the 2013 Farm Bill when it's passed. And that was the only change to the bill. It passed. Now we got to pass the nutrition title, and then once it passes, we'll merge those two and send it over to the Senate full conference. September 30th is our deadline. Just to remind you, last year, September 30th was our deadline too. We didn't pass the extension. We didn't get the extension passed until December, and that was for the fiscal year, so we were already 3 months into the fiscal year when we passed the extension. So we're still under the 08 bill. We've still got the direct payment in place, although there was about 10% of it stripped out. We've got to get this nutrition title passed, merged with the commodity title, and go to conference. If we don't get it done before September 30th, don't panic. Our main concern is we pass the bill before the end of the year and start your 14 crop year off with a new bill. Now, there's been some suggestions that, well, can we just do an extension? It's possible. But if we start talking about extensions, I'm going to be back here in a year telling you this same story, number one. Number two, if they do an extension, they're going to try and strip out the direct payment. So if they do that, that doesn't help you. What we need to do, and I think most people agree, we need to just pass the Farm Bill. I think there's as much support for passing the Farm Bill and getting it done than there is trying to mess with an extension. So I don't think anybody has an appetite for an extension. I think they just want to get it done. So, and I'll agree with that. I want to get it done. So now when they split this thing, there's a couple kind of sort of the conventional wisdom is, you know, well, the permanent law, which goes back to 1938 Ag Stabilization Act and the 1949 Ag Adjustment Act, I believe I got those right, but 1938 and 1949, those are the permanent laws in place. Entirely unworkable in today's economy. In fact, I'm not even sure USDA has the institutional memory to even go back and try to work permanent law involving parity and non-recourse loans and all the other kinds of things. You know, if you talk about a budget crunch, it would absolutely, there's no way you can do that in this environment. So the idea was that, well, the permanent law is sort of the hammer that drives farm policy. Nobody wants to go back to the permanent law, so that would be the incentive to pass the Farm Bill. It's not necessarily accurate. Where we see the leverage is the coalition between urban and rural interests, and that comes in the coupling of the Farm Bill, the nutrition title, and commodity title. So I was very vocal about not supporting that approach to decouple the Farm Bill because to me that's where the leverage is. It's not the permanent law. It's the two titles, the two main titles that are coupled together that drive policy. So I told leadership that, and they said, thank you for your opinion, and they went on ahead and did it their way. So I heard from some folks here in Arkansas, and they said, we need you to vote against that. And I said, okay, if I vote against it, I'm taking myself out of the conference committee. And where we can get the most work done, and the fight still remains, is in the conference committee. So if I'm going to stay in the fight as long as possible and make sure that we've got Mid-South representation in the conference, I'm going to have to, hold my nose and vote yes on this. And without exception, everybody I talked to about that said, we understand, go to it. So, this is one of those deals where you've really got to pick the hills you die on. That was not a hill we wanted to die on at that particular point in time, because it's important that we have Mid-South representation in the conference. Not just on the Senate side. We can talk about, Thad Congred's a great ally for Mid-South agriculture, been doing it for years. Senator Bozeman's going to be on the conference committee. He was appointed. All that's great. But we need it on the House side, because our language, particularly as it applies to the PLC, was very, very critical for us, and we can't just adopt the Midwest approach with respect to crop insurance and call that good. So this is one of those areas where I had to do that, not because I thought it was a good idea, but because it's a good idea to be on the conference committee, and that's where the real work is going to be done to make sure that we hammer out a policy that works. So that's why I was very, very vocal in communicating that back with Farm Bureau, Arkansas Ag Council, Rice and Foods, USA Rice, any of the groups in Arkansas. They all understood that, and although they didn't like the approach of splitting the farm bill any more than I did, they also understood the need to vote yes on that to advance it so we can move to conference and have the adequate representation that we need. So that's where we're at right now with the farm bill. We kind of got our marching orders in September. There is a nutrition bill that has been put together by this nutrition task force. I wasn't on the nutrition task force, so I don't know what the number is in terms of the spending levels. Once I find that out, I'll have a better feel for how we get that across the floor. I suspect we'll be able to pass it, merge it with the commodity title and road conference. So I'm trying to foster a sense of urgency with my colleagues on that. I think every time leadership sees me coming, they know I'm coming to talk to them about farm bill. I mean, so much so that Eric Cantor looks at me and he's just like, as soon as I walk up, he goes, farm bill, right? Yeah, farm bill. So he knows that I'm just going to keep on. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. So doing everything we can. I don't want to see an extension. I think that the result on that is not going to be good for us. So it is a possibility, but I don't think it's the direction we're going to go. So that's where we're at with the Farm Bill. One key provision in there that I want to share with you. I think you all know that last year, or last Congress, we moved a bill out of the House, Senate to the Senate that had to do with your spill prevention and containment countermeasures for on-farm fuel storage. This thing passed the House without a single no vote. I mean, it was voice voted off the floor. Sent it to the Senate. It's a very good bill. University of Arkansas studied the bill. They say it'll save Arkansas farmers alone $25 million. Nationwide, it's about a $3.5 billion savings for farmers on fuel storage. So we weren't able to get the Senate to take it up. We passed it again this year. It's the Transportation Committee Authority. Passed it in committee. Wanted to bring it to the floor. Transportation Committee says our best route to pass this thing, because of the obstacles in the Senate, we'll transfer jurisdictional authority to the Ag Committee and let you put it in the Farm Bill. So then the Senate took the language, put it in the Farm Bill. So now when we go to conference, that's in there. If we pass this Farm Bill, then you all will have that codified threshold of 10,000 gallons as opposed to 1,320 gallons before you have to build your SPCC structures. So again, a huge savings there, but we'll still be mindful that the EPA, right now, they say September 30th is their deadline, and at that point in time, we might start to see some enforcement. They have not told me what enforcement measures are going to take, what action they're going to take if you're not in compliance, any of those things. I've not been able to get them to commit to anything on that. So I'm telling you that I think there's a very real possibility that we're going to get this thing done, but I'm not telling you that so that you ignore the fact that you still may have some compliance issues until we can get that Farm Bill passed. That said, questions, comments, any subject. Doesn't have to be Farm Bill related, but obviously I know you guys are concerned about the Farm Bill, so whatever questions you have. Oh, on the arsenic thing, yeah, big deal for rice. There's some stuff, you know, that goes on up there that you may not know or be aware of, but you know, it's a constant battle. You know, the arsenic issue, and we've been a very vocal supporter of yours on that front to try and make sure that the EPA and others, you know, this rice, the arsenic thing is tempest in the teapot, you know, and they're trying to make a big issue out of it. Roger, I think you know more about the status of that right now than what I do, although we have been on you know, on an ongoing basis trying to hold their feet to the fire on that and provide you some relief. But as I understand it, are they ready to rule on that?
We're getting real close to ruling on what the tolerance levels will be on rice. We've been trying to work with them to get those levels as low as we can. There's another faction out there that wants them as high as that.
Right.
And we've had the FDA come to the state, tour some rice farms, visit with growers, try to get some idea of what the situation looks like in this part of the world. And to the extent they can, I think they're going to try to help us as much as they can. They're non-committal, just like EPA, on what those levels should be. And we're expecting them to establish those and make that announcement anytime.
Yeah, so we're kind of waiting for on that to provide a little clarity. I said EPA, I meant FDA. It's a food safety issue. So at any rate, that's one of those behind-the-scenes things that you may not hear about much. I can tell you that your USA Rice and others have been very, very vocal in fighting that battle, and we've been with them on it, shoulder to shoulder. But it's not one of those issues that gets a lot of headlines. It has the potential to be very damaging to the rice industry if it does not go our way.
Some of the original levels that they were considering would have been levels that we probably couldn't meet. Therefore, we can go on rice if we couldn't market. So just get meet the tolerance levels. So that's been our goal, try to get those at a level we can live with. We thank Rick for a lot of support he's given us on that, and the letters and contact he's had with FDA on that, trying to get this list to us. What we're doing, we're trying to do along with the Chairman Lucas, Chairman
Yeah. One of the things too that we probably don't talk about as much as we should, and that is one of the first things we did in Washington that I noticed was lacking was a Congressional Rice Caucus. Now, granted, there's not that many rice producing regions in the country, but believe it or not, you know, the Mid-South Rice Belt, everybody that has a district that produces rice is a member of that Rice Caucus. Why that matters is because I can write a letter, you know, that's fine, but it's better if we come together as a group and kind of strengthen numbers approach. So even some non-rice producing members like Colin Peterson joined the Rice Caucus. So our entire delegation, Mississippi, Benny Thompson, Alan Nunley from Mississippi, Joanne Emerson, who was replaced by Jason Smith, most of the Texas delegation in the East Texas area, Louisiana, I think the entire Louisiana delegation is on board. And then we have at least one California rice farmer who came into Congress this term. He's joined us. It's a good bipartisan mix to several of the members from California. I know California rice is a different animal than Mid-South rice, but the point is, again, trying to find those opportunities to collaborate and strengthen our case when we need to. So the uptake's been good on the Congressional Rice Caucus. So we work very closely with the industry and try to advocate as strongly as we can, and it's been a good thing for us. So, Keith, I know you got a question.
Yeah, I really ain't understanding the whole 85% thing.
Oh, now we talked about this last year. You're going to get me confused now.
No, I just want to know one thing. I say it does pass hypothetically, which I don't believe it will. Is it going to go through 5 insurance companies that are subsidized by the federal government?
No. This is an FSA program. This is not an RMA. This is not an insurance product. This This is a program
Who's
administrator.
going to administrate it?
FSA.
And we've got, Onset County office is swamped over. Every time somebody retires, they're never replaced because of the hiring freeze. They can't expect these people to keep doing this workload. They're killing them over there.
No.
And they can't never get into help. When's that going to start? When are they going to be able to hire someone? There's 3 people over there.
I know.
And there should be 8. And then right side, not the left side.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be one of the challenges that we face in this budget
They
environment.
have to go time.
Yeah. I know, and it's not just Poinsett County. They shut down some FSA offices, which we went to the map for. Not only did they shut some down, I mean, it didn't make any sense about which ones they shut down, based on the volume of work they were doing and who should be kept open and who shouldn't. And geography, I mean, they didn't take any of those things into consideration. So we know we're very sensitive to that. We know they're understaffed and we've got a lot of work to do, but they're the ones that are going to be responsible for administering the program. So we know there's a little bit of a learning curve on this. It's a new policy. So we have to be patient with them, but hopefully they'll be able to get this done. We can get that new policy rolled out, and you guys have at least a game plan for the next 5 years.
When asked to sit there and do all the surveys on the phone, that they can call in a day's time and get a hold of the farmer. But when the numbers come out of USDA's report, like come out this month, there was supposed to be FSA numbers compiled on certified acres. We were still certifying when the report came out. There's no way there's a level of accuracy there. They're supposed to be done by July 15th. They extended to August 15th. They still weren't done. The report come out the 12th. So those numbers are so screwed up, you know. And NAS can pile up all they want to, but they're duplicating themselves. I guess there's no answer. It's just waste.
Well, it is waste, and those are, that's kind of what we're trying to fix up there. Is there's areas where you see a whole lot of duplication and redundancy, in areas where obviously they need help and they're not getting it. And just a little bit of application, common sense goes a long way.
Right.
So. Well, you're still under the 08 Farm Bill. So as far as how much, I believe, Jay, did they take 10% of the direct payment out? Well, I think it's 10%. So you're still under the direct payment, but it's going to be lowered by 10%. I would think it would be in this calendar year. Yeah. If you have a problem with that, let me know. But I think it almost has to be in this calendar year.
Rick, you was talking about in this new farm bill, you're trying to get over and opting in. What's the downside if you don't have it? I don't know why you wouldn't.
Well,
you opt in for 5 years.
Well, if you opt in, keep in mind that, or if you don't opt in, you're probably going to go out and buy crop insurance. Now, if you're soybeans, you can do that. If you're rice, you probably can't. And that's where we have the problems with there's still not a real workable crop insurance model for rice. So when we talk about irrigation as our crop insurance, we're certainly talking about rice, but even our irrigated soybeans. So if it's cheaper and more efficient for you to keep your irrigated soybeans in the PLC, you can do that. You don't have to just do rice in the PLC program. You can do any of your irrigated acres. But you might want to consider crop insurance for your non-irrigated acres. I don't know. That's something you have to maybe weigh that. But I think you certainly, obviously, going to your rice acres, you're going to go with the PLC. I think there's no crop insurance that works. Yeah. There is talk about RMA putting together a margin insurance product. And I think Roger probably knows as much about this as anybody because he's involved with the USA Rice Federation. It's an RMA administered program. So you guys can take that session, you'll make your own opinion. I have a sort of different view of where I think we need to go. I don't think crop insurance can work. And I don't think we're ever going to see U.S. rice acres go back over 3 million. And even at 3 million, that's not enough of an actuary base for sound insurance. Now, you guys are rice farmers, but if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. But it seems to me like I don't see any good way to come up with a workable crop insurance model for rice. So other things we can look at though that would work. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Well, here's the good thing about this. Where in the old days, you know, you would use a 20-year average. Well, yields 20 years ago threw your average way down. What they're doing now to determine that average, first off, it's a rolling average over a 5-year period, and they throw out the high and the low. So it's what we call an Olympic average, and they take the 3 in the middle. That gives you a much more updated version based on your yield history and all these other factors, rather than looking at 20 years ago when that really throws your average way down. So this is a much more modernized approach.
Is it going to be personal? I mean, you're going to go back and prove your yield like you did in the way when you sign up, or are we taking county averages, or how do you what are you
I think you're going to have to probably be personal. I don't think they'll take. I don't think county averages are what they're looking for here. I think they're looking for your own.
So we're going to dig back and do the same thing we did in the way.
Yeah.
Of course, we won't know until it's passed.
Right.
And then we won't know until USDA interprets the rules. So there's a lot of speculation.
There is. I mean, we're talking in kind of broad terms about how this works, but ultimately the FSA will be able to answer that question with certainty, whether it's going to be, you know, like a county data, or whether it's going to be your farm-specific data.
The indications are probably closer to your actual farm yields. And then as we base the way the top goes down, probably more on your planted acres as opposed to your base acres.
Right. In fact, base acres are what really messed us up on direct payment. And that was kind of the beginning and the end, because there were so many guys that were getting direct payments on base acres that weren't planted, that's what kind of really messed everybody up. So it's not going to be on base acres, it'll be on planted. And because, you know, I mentioned how they kind of updated the program. That's why I'm fairly certain it's not going to be on county-wide data, it'll be on farm-specific data. But we'll see what the others say, how they implement it. Anybody else? Questions, comments? Anything else? Kelly? Very gracious of you to host us today. I appreciate it. I've known Kelly a long time now and had the opportunity to work with him on a variety of different things. And you know, I'm not saying that because I'm standing here in his warehouse. He does a fantastic job. Of course, I see a lot of Armor C caps in here, so I know you guys know that already. But thank you all so much for everything you guys do. And also, there's probably not a better Red Wolf supporter than Kelly Phipps, too. So, appreciate it. Thank you all for having me. And anything we can do to help, just let us know.
I have to be busy.
People throw this out there.
Hey, one thing I was going to look up though. Limitation on your we can earn. I've lost my thoughts out there.
That's the only thing.
How many times you can
There's no term limits.
I just didn't know.
The state does. Term limits at the state level. So,
You know, I'll have limitations.
yeah. State level, and it's 3 terms for state rep and 2 terms for a state senator. So in total, that's 14 years.
No, it's a
We cut sample a while ago at 16.5. They're getting all here in the bin right now.
But then there's stuff to hold.
Well, he's my consultant. Yeah, we cut a sample. He's my consultant. He gets me going. I'm the first one of his.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Hey,
On Obamacare. Yeah. Do we have any chance to repeal this?
Not as long as the president.
So, assassination is on the way. But then we'll have crazy Biden.
Well,
I shouldn't have said that to my
probably wasn't severe. But it wasn't severe, but it's only just better belief that
we still have some options.
Did you see the 1-800 number? I know you're not watching Cardinal baseball like I do, but I was watching the Cardinals tonight more or less, and them honest in there, and their 1-800 number said, if you cannot afford your health insurance or you don't have any health insurance, call this number. And Mama said, who's calling? And she just made them out. She said, that guy said, you're eligible. She's a physician. Well, we're paying just between me and her. We went from $4.19 before Obama, and now it's $7.19 a month. And I hadn't been in the hospital in my life, but we're paying. But she after she had this long conversation with this person, who was probably in India. She said, "Who's funding this?" She said, "The United States government."
And it was an offshore.
It was outsourced. Well, Vonda said, I have several patients. She said, now, wait a minute, woman. she said, I'm a GP in a little old town called Harrisburg, Arkansas. And they said, well, you're not eligible.
She just got to tell us.
Well, Vonda wanted to try to get some help for some of her people. 95% of the people she deals with are Medicaid or Medicare.
Oh, yeah. It's tough. We have a very high population. We're higher than the national average.
It's tough. I didn't know if it could be repealed. I told her I was going to ask. We're going down a dirty road, man. It's going to get ugly. I hope she can survive. She might be the most educated.
There ain't nothing nobody out there
wants that kind of history.
You know, he's going to be, that's going to be a threat to his job, next thing you know, she'll be out scouting for you instead of him.
No, I'm going to tell you, I wasn't being sarcastic about the FSA employee.
I know, I understand.
If that thing's complicated as I think it's going to be when it comes out, finally, the 85%, it goes through FSA and you've got 3 people over there to do 8 people's work. What they'll do is they'll make it all go to the computer, which we can't figure out, so they'll quit and we'll have to hire them as consultants to do our department.
Well,
that's what will happen. So, and it is. I feel sorry for them, man. They're just so overworked. They're so.
We were having this fight with 2 counties that lost their FSA office.
Oh, man.
Trying to keep the model, and we actually.
I'm leaving. Good to see you. Yeah.
Them road crop counties are tough.
All right. I'm ready for you this weekend.
Hey, come take a picture of me. I'll pick you on that big red machine.
I'm fixing to. Tuesday.
No, Case Combine. Oh, okay. Nah, she done a commercial on us.
Oh, is that right?
Last year we did things and stuff. Just a promo. We was on Monday Night Football nationwide.
That's good stuff. I was talking the other day.
St. Louis. We went to the Cardinals game.
Is that right? Is that right?
We all had armor shirts on. Yeah, he's got big boy. I'm all seeing.
Is that right?
Everything I grow is so very good deal.
Big man. Yeah.
Solid people. But I probably should have waited long. Hey, I gotta get. What do you say?
You know when that thing's going to take us next week? I got 3 extra. You already got those.
I'm gonna give David a year or 2.
I got
Nah,
three.
you want scalp for samples.
I got 3 extra if you need.
Okay.
If I don't
Get
get
hold
rid
of
of them. Everything going good?
Pretty good. I'm staying busy.
I mean, we get a lot of work here at home, and we can kind of meet. That's good.
I was on the school board one time, 7 people. I couldn't figure out how you'd ever get anything done with 300. So, however many of you.
Yeah.
How long y'all gonna be in town? You gonna go back? You just making a tour?
Yeah, we try to do this every year. This is, so we're going to,
Was that right? Yep. We sent out 1,700 invitations.
oh, is that right?
We got a real good response. But it's water and beans and cutting rice.
I was surprised that they're cutting rice already because I didn't think you had enough heat units yet to be there.
Yeah, I mean, we're not blowing and going. It's just dabbing.
I was in Arkansas County yesterday, and one guy said he was about 18%. He cut sample and I told him moisture. So I didn't think you guys would be up there. So he was 16.5%. He said he's fixing to. So he's a little wild. He's a little wild, yeah. So he'll be blowing and going this time tomorrow, probably.
Where y'all headed?
Got one more shot.
When they first started. Who is it?
They're legislators there.
That one guy, he's in our region, he's good. His name Dave. His name's Dave.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Appreciate you coming. Hope life's treating you good.
Thank y'all.
Cutting out.
I got my,
I can help you, man. I don't know what I can do.
I appreciate you helping out. I got my son playing football this year.
We're at
Out at Top Warner. His first year of play. He's alive.
Come out to start.
Big. He's doing more than everybody. He's considerably bigger. So he's big.
Like your hat.
Thanks. Keeps me really shady.
I need it.
So we're good. So the coach comes over yesterday. That's from the day before yesterday. It's really good. We usually have about 50% fumble rate. Maybe fumble once. So he's doing really good. He's learning everything. Coaching his face. I want you to win this guy. He takes his markings. He looks and says, Coach, that's my bestie. He said, you're what? He says, my bestie. He said, I'll tell you what you do. You run your bestie over. Okay, so look at his mouthpiece back in. He snaps off. He's just big. Plasma over, and it helps him out. That's his best deal.
That's the way to do it.
He wouldn't be my best year.
He's a we're having fun with this. You know, he played baseball for 3 years, and he knows I love baseball. So he says, Dad, I gotta talk to you. He says, you don't want to keep playing baseball. I know you love it. That's how he started the conversation. And I said, okay, you don't have to play baseball. He said, he's doing that. It's kind of broke my heart a little bit.
You gotta like it, play it. We're coaching some 10-year-olds this year, and it's hot. You know, they get hot pretty quick.
We're having fun with it.
All right, man.
All right, dude.
Y'all be
Thanks.
careful.
See you guys.
See you.
Congressman, could you clarify the letter you wrote about defunding Obamacare?
Pardon me?
Could you clarify the letter that you signed on to about defunding Obamacare?
I think it's pretty clear. Thank you,
Well, would you approve of a budget that did fund Obamacare?
Rick, yeah, appreciate you.
Oh, hey, thanks, Roger.
Appreciate you coming out.
Thanks much.
That wasn't very well organized. I didn't know how this was all going to play. I should have had a chance to get up and give you a little introduction, talk about some of the things you've done for us. We'll do that the next time.
Okay. That'll work.
Appreciate you. There'll be another chance. We'll try to organize this just a little better. She did a great job, did all the right
Oh, no,
stuff.
this was good.
Yeah, this was good. And of course, as I said, this is a group, don't ask a lot of questions. You're speaking to the choir.
Good bunch here. No, we enjoyed it. These are all a bunch of guys we used to see at Greenway all
Yeah,
the time.
yeah.
See them down at the
Right.
dairy shack and all that. So this is
The
good.
fish
crowd.
was good.
Yeah, that's when the fish.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for coming.
Sir. Appreciate it.
Anything else we can ever do for you down there part of the country, don't hesitate.
We'll do. Thanks, sir. Look forward to seeing you again.
I think a lot of pundits are confused about your intentions, Congressman Crawford.
I guess I'll be on the, I'll give you your call. I guess I can go on the highway or something like that, or somewhere like that. That'll work. Yeah, we'll see you in the morning. Okay, all right, see you later, bud. Good try.